Good morning, panelists and Mr. Domingo. We are here today to present to you a research paper entitled Psychological Impact of Crowd Behavior to Badminton Para-Athletes. Let me introduce myself. I am Christina Zapanta and my co-researchers, Ms. Wenceslao, Ms. Zapanta, and Mr. Gala. In abstract, the purpose of the study is to learn more about the psychological impact of crowd behavior on badminton para-athletes. Researchers want to know the experience during the game when the action or words of the crowd will affect the athlete's performance. This study aims to give awareness to every individual about the condition of the athlete with disability, not only in society but also in work, school, and in the chosen sports. This study promotes to help athletes with disabilities here in our country to provide awareness on the capability to play like abled athletes and give them the same support and attention the abled athletes experience, because they also deserve to be recognized for the honors they give to our country. Not because you are disabled does not mean you can't any longer do the things you want to do. Introduction. As we all know, person with disability, also athlete with disabilities, experience or encounter negative perception and discrimination within the society. In this topic, the aim of this study is to determine the psychological impact of crowd behavior of badminton para-athletes, to focus and give awareness, to enhance and develop social interactive to normal people.
The conceptual framework incorporates the crowd's action or statements during the game, as well as in public and private areas. The way they respond circulates to the people surrounding them. Behavior can affect the player's performance ability because the audience plays a big role in the game. It can be a supporter or basher. Sometimes the supports can boost your confidence to do your best in the game, but most of the time it's the opposite of the situation. Here are some examples: anxiety, despair, and dissatisfaction that our para-athletes have experienced.
Statement of the problem. As the researcher, we aim to determine first the effect of the action and words of the crowd during athletic performance. Second, the negative and positive effect perception of the crowd during competition. Third, how do they respond in the action or words from the crowd during game. And lastly, what are their strategy to manage the situation of the crowd?
These are the significance of the study. Number 1, BSESS students. Number 2, coaches. Number 3, future researchers. Number 4, para-athletes. Number 5, PWDs. Number 6, sports manager. Number 7, sports psychologists. And lastly, wheelchair para-athletes. Scope and limitations. The study includes 6 para-athletes playing badminton from Rizal. Next, this study focused on identifying psychological impact on crowd behavior to badminton para-athletes.
In research method, the research utilized qualitative analysis, non-experimental type of research, and used narrative analysis method. Population and sample size. Future athletes filled with the informants of this study who has a more experience and exposure in the competitions, research instrument data. Will collect true open-ended question via Zoom. Transcription of the answer is a process constructing a message from original video or audio. Encoding is to analyze the data from the informants. Interpretation of data. Figure 1. In this figure shows the effect of the action or words of the sport athletic performance in a positive way and negative way. In a positive way, such as praise, applause, and cheering, and in a negative way is bash comments. Example in positive way is according to informant D, her parents are against on the sport she really wanted
But at the end of the day, her family supported her throughout her game. And according to informant F, people bash them according on what they see, but not on what they know about their status. Figure 2 shows the effects of the informants used all the comments from others as their motivation. In this figure, it has positive and negative effect. Positive is to motivate and challenge themselves and prove to others that they can do what others can do. And the negative, emotional stress. But it is not a hindrance for them to not continue what they started.
In Figure 3 shows how they respond to the actions or words from the crowd, such as ignore, focus on the game, and reverse psychology. According to the informants, they ignore the words from the crowd because they want to focus on the game and use it as motivation for them to reach their goal. They use the reverse psychology technique to not be affected on the words of the crowd during their competition. In Figure 4 shows their strategies to manage the situation of the actions or words to para badminton during athletic performance. The informants mentioned that they improved their training to have a good performance and to achieve the goal of winning in the competition. Also, they mentioned that the team has assistance from the sports psychiatrist.
Result and findings. The result shows that the 6 informants encountered different comments from the crowd according to informant A, B, and F. Their first experience come from the people who are watching during the athletic performance, while C, D, and E, what was said came from their family. Number 2, stated by the informant that people on the crowd say negative because of disability. Informant B, C, and E, they just ignore them and just play. Also B and E, there's a good outcome, just focus and you know what you're doing. You're just doing your best. While same result, according to the paper, Scalper 2013. Number 3 result, mentioned by informant D that he don't tolerate people talk negative, he take it as a motivation. Also informant C, self-adjustment is the key. And as long as they don't hurt people by playing, there's nothing wrong. While informant A and F, they just focus on the game. Lastly, as I said, informant E, think positive and trust yourself no matter what. Similar to the result on Hess research paper 2013. Result number 4. All the informants have their own strategy on handling situations during their athletic performance. They just prove to the audience that being disabled doesn't mean you cannot do what normal people can do.
Conclusion. Therefore, we conclude that the study aimed to help athletes with disabilities here in our country to provide awareness on the capability to play like able athletes and give them same support and attention that able athletes experience, because they also deserve to be recognized for the honors they give to the country. Even if they hear negative words from the crowds and sometimes even from their family or parents, it does not become an obstacle for them to reach their dream and pursue it well, and also to inspire people who like them even though they are able or disabled.
Recommendation. Apart from their studies of sports and human movement, this study will aid BSESS students by allowing them to better understand each other's emotions, particularly if one of the future student or client is a para-athlete. Number 2. This will assist our coaches in paying greater attention to the para-athletes and athletes, as well as improving their training program for their players. Number 3. We conducted this study for para-athletes so that you may better understand that being disabled is not a barrier to doing what you want in life, and that you can do all the normal players can do, as well as to increase your self-esteem. Number 4. To BSESS and PhilSpada give support and attention to this kind of research because many people will benefit, not only athletes with disabled, but also organizations that want to provide support to disabled athletes. Number 5. This study will provide PWDs an idea, and they will see that there are para-athletes, which indicates that they can do what non-disabled individuals can do despite of their impairment. Number 6. The sports psychologists who provide enough information for the psychological behavior for a better understanding what athletes will disabilities go through whenever they play in the competition.